dignitaries, deans, HoDs, faculty and my dear students. I am Dr. G. Himabindu, faculty from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all present here. Today, we have come together for the Amrit Kaal-Vision India by 2047 from AICD, which is an industrial academy interface. Amrit Kaal-Vision 2047 was launched by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, which is a roadmap for maritime sector development for the next 25 years. The Amrit Kaal is to make India Atmanirbhar by 2047. I would like to start today's event with a small slogan. Pratame narjita vida, dvitiye narjitam dhanam, tritiye narjitam punyam, chaturthe kim karishyasi, which states that what we can do in the fourth part of your life when you have not gained knowledge in the first. Money is the second and merit is the third. So, as we all know, no event will start with an auspicious occasion. So, I would like to request our dignitaries to please step forward for a light lamping ceremony.
Check. Hello, check.
3 minutes work. 2 minutes. 1.5 minutes.
Hello, check. Hello, check. Mahaganapatim Sri Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Vasishta Vamadeva Divandita Mahaganapatim Mahadeva Sutam Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahakavya Nataka Vipriyam Mahakavya Nataka Vipriyam Mushika Vahana Modaka Priyam Mahakavya Nataka Vipriyam Mushika Vahana Modaka Priyam Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Vasishta Vamadeva Divandita Mahaganapatim. Thank you.
I call upon our faculty, B. Satyanarayana sir from Mechanical Engineering Department to give a small briefing about today's event.
Distinguished chief guest, faculty, deans, HoDs, and my dear students. Thank you for the chief guest who has come here to enlighten us on the various aspects of this Amrit Kaal 2047 vision document. I am from industry, as you are all familiar. So college has given this opportunity to me to say a few words on this subject, so that we will be in a mental state to receive what sir is going to be elaborating on that. So we are indeed very fortunate to have him here. What we understand from this vision document is, it is a plan for 25 years. So by the time we reach 2047, that is 100 years from our independence, so we will be reaching some milestones. So unless we plan for those milestones, we will not be able to achieve it. So this plan is carefully constructed by various industry experts, Niti Aayog and various functionaries, so which has specific targets. So for example, we are going to have the GDP of India from current 3.75 US trillion to 30 trillion. That is the ambition we are going to have. In the process, we are going to overcome few countries. We already overcome UK, France and other countries. We are standing at 5th position as of now. So it is low hanging fruit. By 2030, we will be reaching something 7+ trillion US dollars economy. So in the process, we will be overtaking Germany and Japan. So we will be the third largest economy in the world by that time. So that is a great milestone to achieve, which brings a lot of opportunities for us all. As engineers, we have a lot to do and contribute and get indeed benefit by this vision. So we have a specific targets, not only GDP, we have a specific target, like there is a plan to construct deep ports. Big ships were not able to come and do the landing here and give the goods. So we want to have at least 3 major deep ports, and also the inland transportation maybe around 6% now. There is a plan to increase by 12%. And there are many other targets which there is an intermediate milestone like 2030 to check whether you are on the right path or not. Okay. For example, as I mentioned, 3.75 trillion US dollars GDP to 30 trillion US dollars by 2047. But in between there is a check. In the year 2030, we are supposed to cross 7 trillion US dollars economy. So any progress will be, we have to periodically check and do it. I have a special request for sir. As an engineering college, our students are getting a lot of jobs in coding, but our heart is in industry. Our heart is industry. We want to contribute in the aerospace, defense, all other construction, these sectors, ports, energy, power. So we are already implemented certain features, like we have introduced the innovation as a subject, and which is run for 4 semesters, and we are all embracing the ecosystem of the industry, and we also encouraging multidisciplinary students to take up multidisciplinary project, because any good outcome can come only from the multidisciplinary approach. So we are encouraging students to take up, and faculty to be achieve something good by taking the path of multidisciplinary approach and collaboration. My special request to chief guest is how we shall go about to be in the limelight of the things other than coding jobs. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Speaking about our guest and the speaker of the day, Dr. Mahesh Y Reddy, sir, is the chairman of the Infrastructure and Logistic Federation of India, which is a national organization focusing on the development of infrastructure, related trade and industry. Sir is also an international arbitrator, mediator and advocate in the Supreme Court of India. Earlier, Sir was the member secretary of the Expert Advisory Committee of the Ministry of Railways and also worked as a member of the Development Council for Textile Industry. Dr. Mahesh Y Reddy Garu also worked with national level trade and industry bodies and Government of India in various capacities for countries like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and New Delhi. Sir has directly interfaced with 11 chief ministers of various states and a number of union cabinet ministers and other ministers. The interaction included both formal presentation and coordination of visits of delegations to about 23 countries. Dr. Mahesh Y Reddy Garu has also represented Indian industry on the several government of Indian committees in the sectors like textiles, shipbuildings, transportation, small and medium enterprises and e-business, etc. and made presentations before several standing committees of the Parliament of India. In addition, he has actively involved in several initiatives of young parliamentarians forums. Sir was responsible for coordination of research study and implementation of n number of projects funded by various international funding organizations. He has also published articles on business issues in Economic Times, Financial Express, Hindustan Times, and several national and international electronic media channels. Now I request our guest of honor and the speaker of the day, Dr. M.Y. Mahesh Reddy, sir, to please come on to the dais. A big round of applause. Our student Deepanvi from EC second year will present a bouquet to the chief guest. Yes.
Well, in fact, I am honored. It's a great privilege for this opportunity for addressing the young minds of India, the future of India, and the direction the country which is looking for, making this Amrit Kaal period of the next 24 years a big success. Perhaps that is the reason the PMO, jointly with the Ministry of Education and AICTE, has chosen select institutions in the country, and IARE has been one of the prestigious institutions that the AICTE has given and been posed in such level of confidence and invited for this interface of industry academia angle into the minds of the engineering student community. Yeah? Keep it wherever. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Well, let me take this opportunity to thank the management, the principal, and the heads of departments and the deans, and not but last but least the student for whom I am standing here today. The Amrit Kaal period interface is something the government of India is looking at, not just as a kind of project or program, but as a mission, what the country should achieve, as a mission, what it should really kind of look forward to in terms of positioning the milestones for the next, say, five-year plan periods, that is 25 years, with effect from 22 till 47. So in these five-year plan periods, what the country should pass through in various industry sectors, infrastructure sectors, manufacturing bases, and international business trading environment, in addressing the financial markets, in addressing these kind of fluctuation situations, and then the way forward as to what we need to kind of really look at in translating the country's ambition of reaching or joining the League of Developed Countries. That is the object, that is the purpose with which this mission was launched, entrusted by the Prime Minister's office to the Ministry of Education and the AICTE, so far as this particular academia angle is concerned. And the similar interfaces in respective ministries concerned with economic activity, manufacturing base, and also the services domains. Each of the ministry, each of the organization, each of the irrespective of the sectoral domains, whether the private, public, or MNC, etc. So these initiatives are kind of being taken up with a great passion in ensuring the country's direction with that focal point and reaching that destiny of developing country status in the next 24 years, as we have already surpassed 1 year. Well, friends, what exactly this mission mean? Why this has acquired such a degree of importance in the country, which is directly being monitored by the Prime Minister's office? The reason, the country which has passed through different stories in the last 75 years, that is last 7 decades, in other words last 14 plan periods. So taking the stock of these last 14 plan periods, that is 70 years, what are the kind of lessons that those have been kind of learnt in the past? Lessons in not only in the kind of engineering context, in the overall economic development context, in the overall human development indexing context, in developing in improvising our demographic dividend context, in improvisation of our manufacturing structures, in all these pyramids, all these permutations and combinations, what all have been kind of put in the 7 plan periods, rest in the remaining 24 years, that is remaining 5 plan periods, what should be our vision, and then the protracted action. So in other words, we are going to talk more about our action agenda, what each of these sectoral areas are envisaging. As our friend already rather set in a wonderful context on the industry interface, already kind of brought out in terms of the GDP, where we stand and where we look forward to reach, And our country status, India's country status, today's fifth emerging, in GDP terms, the fifth emerging nation. And then, as he also rightly mentioned, the time is ripe, the context is ripe, in the sense the the development story, the India's manufacturing base, how we have been kind of redefined on the self-reliant manufacturing, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and similarly several initiatives in each of those respective sectors, that what we have already kind of positioned and been positioning, how we would like to look forward. So when we are saying the positioning of each of these sectors, let us just look at the status in terms of our ease of doing business indexing, or the India's human development indexing, or India's manufacturing efficiency level, how it has improvised over the last, say, 10 years, with effect from, say, 2013 till 23rd, or 14 till 23, or for that matter, rather 2003, soon after the reform period, 2001 till 2010, 10 to 20, if we look at the rapid improvisation, rapid efficiency levels, those have been achieved in attaining satisfactory levels, not only in the human development index perspective, but also the physical aspects, whether LPI, logistics, or the quality performance of the country's manufacturing base, and even the improvisations attained, not only in the manufacturing base, particularly in MSME space. The number of schemes those have been introduced in the last 2 decades gives us enough confidence. And this period of remaining 24 years, attaining the developed nation's status is honestly, as our industry friend mentioned, it is a cake. If not, it is a cakewalk. The roadmap is clear. The direction is set. So now the young minds, once again, when we are addressing whether it's the engineering student community, or the legal fraternity, or the financial student base, or other, the other vectors, other sectoral domains, see why this is becoming far more important and necessary is for a very simple reason. This 25 years, in other words, those who are at 40, 65, those who are at 30, 55, those who are at 20, in 20s, 45. So this agenda, this developed nation is going to be a kind of realized fruit in the hands of this age group. India is really lucky. India is honestly fortunate to have such young population in the age group of 30s, 35, 40. The numbers, the percentages are quite fascinating. 35, 45, 50 percentages. So why we are kind of saying fortunate? Do we supposed to have young population, middle-aged and the old? Then how is it that India is, how is it that India has been blessed with this boon? That is the truth. The truth is, if you look at our immediate numbers, the countries, whether it is number 3, number 4, or number 5, where we today stand in GDP terms, number 5, number 3 and number 5 do not Japan, and respect, etc. Honestly, in terms of this demographic dividend, those are not that fortunate. The aged population, see what happens is, in the demographic, see, after all, one is not analyzing about the age group of the persons and, what is the what of that aspect. But in the context of achieving economic goals, age is an important factor. That's not achievable at all ages. Post 60s, 70s, 80s, see, that is the kind of population naturally they are not kind of, though that percentage or that population lot is not meant for this purpose, for these mission goals. So even when we are looking at in those lines also, the demographic dividend of India is one of the best in its forms. So when we are kind of looking at surpassing or coming down from number 5th level in rank wise to number 3, whereas India's economic prosperity and perspective of achieving at an average of minimum 6 to 7 is very clear. The number 4, number 5 countries, Japan, etc., there the percentage of GDP increase, whatever is this efficiency attainment, not more than 1 to 2% is very clearly kind of defined there also by the IMO and other economic developmental aspects. Shall we move on, sir? Yeah. So, well, given these kind of matrices in place, the clear definition of attaining the growth targets and reaching the number 3 level is very clear, and also by 2047 in the next 24 years of achieving those targets of joining the developed country. But then what are we kind of talking about when we are able to kind of reach the GDP wise number 3 level, why is it that developed country league we are unable to kind of attain? Well, so the GDP emerging country status of number 3 is not a kind of directly a wholesome set of the developed country status. In fact, a developed country which has to be in the league of developed country, the achievement of the human index and education attainment levels and then efficiency parameters and the educational institutional infrastructure, not only having those kind of those physical, in terms of the physical terms of those infrastructure and other parameters, but also the efficiency levels at which they deliver the desired outcomes. So these, whether it is the comfort of living, the judiciary's efficient functioning, attaining the legal kind of all those parameters. So in other words, not only the physical infrastructure and the manufacturing base, attaining every aspect of the developed countries' parameters. So those are the kind of goals. So there the education takes the prime place. The education which becomes the root for any of the angles, because this is where your investment put in will actually percolate into, whether it is the manufacturing, whether it is the services sector, whether it is the other infrastructural domains or international relations or any other activities will spill out, rather take the birth from this domain. So this naturally is the hub for this entire thing. Those spokes will reach various parameters, various matrices, various indicators, various circumferential domains defined in the, not only the economic activity, but also in various social and other related connected activities as well. Now, if we look at the government of India, some of the schemes, why we said why we been kind of using these terms like Amrit Kaal, Yehi Samay Hai, Sahi Samay Hai. So that is the rising India, the India which has taken this 75 years in kind of attaining the rising India's position. It is this time, these five plan periods, Sahi Samay Hai, Yehi Samay Hai. So meaning, this is what exactly indicating each sector is well curated, well positioned, well defined in terms of its internal inefficiencies, and those kind of, these speed hampers have already been identified, and therefore this position of Sahi Samay Hai, the right time of the next next five-year period plans, because these are, during this Amrit Kaal period, those have all the wheel is on run. So far in this whole period, we were inventing many things. We were positioning, repositioning, attaining, non-attaining, coming through this entire global scenarios, overcoming all whatever is these global hits, domestic hits, whatever is the kind of natural calamity hits, etc., despite of the fact that the country is, is sitting on 1.4 billion population. So that used to be a concern at some stage. But today, with this 35 to 40% below this age group of 35, 40s and all, so this has actually turned as an asset value of the nation. So this Sahi Samay Hai, Yehi Samay Hai. Well, what we are actually kind of trying to reinforce, there is no obstacle at this stage in terms of your vehicle to kind of take off, move on. So that aspect has been well positioned, and the country is sitting on each of these sectoral areas well positioned. Now let us look at some 2, 3, 4 segments or sectors. Let us take small scale sectors. Let us get some of these mission schemes, those have been launched, whether the startup mission or the MSMEs. Only within MSMEs, one sector, or for that matter any sector, infrastructure or the textile, how the country has reformed, the reformed nation in the last 23 years. The reformed economic agenda, the reformed sector, the reformed missions in each of those sectors, the reformed projects and programs within those missions. Let us look at some of them. Just if you take MSMEs, the number of schemes and programs those have been launched are around 78. Whether it is the lean manufacturing, or whether it is the quality analysis, or whether it is what you call MSME export scheme related ones, or input related ones, or under the Atmanirbhar Bharat variety of schemes, or import substitution wise within that Atmanirbhar Bharat, almost few thousands of defense input ancillaries have started kind of taking, manufacturing started kind of taking place within the country. So this is a very drastic change, which never used to be the primary aspect of the kind of, because you see at some stage, say for example, was it really possible during 47 to 57, 57 to 67, 67 to 77, even if the country desired. That was the period when the country was a country which has come out of the clutches of the dominance, foreign dominance, have started kind of taking its home position. And so till, well, now let us reverse the picture, 2010, 2020 picture. So things are there, everything, a well-endowed IT force, a country which is showing the road map to the developed world. India may not be the developed country, but the developed, so-called the developed, quote unquote, their economies are dependent on you. Their manufacturing base, their future, their what you call GDP is directly dependent on your consumer base. And their entire even intelligentsia in terms of, they may have hard infrastructure, hard face, but then the sucrose, what is kind of flowing in is kind of, this is the umbilical cord in India. Of course, that has always been there in the past few decades, but now this mission, the vision of Amrit Kaal-Vision is also to address how gradually a growing India, an emerging India, a rising India should do away gradually that kind of outgoes. How do we attract, well, the brain drain back, back into the country? How do we, so naturally, your innovation space has to take a predominant role. Your innovation, investments into the education, investments into the R&D, investments into the technology transfer, investments into variety of factors of this nature. So those missions have taken a predominant place. So now, as part of this initiative, during this Amrit Kaal period, idea is to kind of bring them into a mission mode, not into what you call what has been there in the past in terms of the plans and actions, etc., but translate them onto the ground in terms of enhancing the innovation capability. That is what you find actually Atal innovation schemes and quite few R&D activities. And then even under this particular program, this Amrit Kaal PM Usha scheme itself, variety of programs and project agenda has been defined, and how the academic institutions, academic infrastructure, the R&D infrastructure, and these institutions of various sectors, whether it is the legal, engineering, or the medical domains, or the manufacturing, pharma, and few other sectors, etc., how the academic community not only in terms of, I am referring to the education sector, but then connected and operating in various other segments also, whether it is R&D in the industry and likewise. So these investments and these kind of connects established during this period, at least in the last 2-3 plan periods, as well as in the next 5 plan periods, next 24 years, how they should achieve, they should attain, how they should connect with the overall prosperity of the country's, economic and other social goals. So this is what exactly, now if we turn into this infrastructure segment also, right from say 2000, launch of this golden quadrangle, port modernization programs, airport modernization programs, modernization of this railway stations, etc., and launch of dedicated freight corridors, the east, west and north, south corridors, and particularly this port modernization program, what has been connected globally into different ports in kind of in bringing down the logistics costs to a great extent. So this entire agenda, what it is culminating is to kind of bring the status of India into a kind of build India into a developed country domain. So this league of not only just attaining in economic terms as an emerging country the third status by 27 or by 2030, which is of course a writing on the wall, but the whole idea during this Amrit Kaal period is to kind of attain other social, economic and various other goals which will ultimately kind of put the human index level at a comfortable range so far as the India is concerned, despite of the fact that the population level of 1.4 billion addressing various issues in terms of the employment, in terms of whatever is the the political perspectives, etc., etc. So I mean, with taking all this holistic picture, what all the country needs to look at majorly has a direct relation with the young minds in the country in the age group of 20-22 and so on. So the 20s by 47, the 47, I mean the 44-45 age group, yeah. So this is the reason why the PMO has taken the young lot of the surging academic institutions, universities, etc., in kind of not only merely kind of looking at it, but as they come out, what should be their goal in kind of translating or kind of attaining country's status into a developed nation, and how during this Amrit Kaal period, how we are going to kind of shoulder our responsibility in terms of whichever the segment we are in. Tomorrow you may be an entrepreneur, tomorrow you may be a kind of R&D scientist, or tomorrow you may be a kind into a manufacturing base, or an engineer in the infrastructure building or whatever. But you have what you call noble task before you, how you will commit to this Amrit Kaal period, and how you will kind of do your best, and in terms of without sparing any effort in attaining the country developed country status. So that is why, that is the reason the industry academia interface is acquiring such an important dimension. And otherwise what happens is, in general, whichever the kind of group, whether it's several, in academia, industry, intelligentsia groups, etc., ultimately they have come out with this, because this program was launched with after quite a high amount of deliberation as to where the routes should start and how we should attain and what all the country needs to really look at. So I think the IARE has shouldered this important responsibility in kind of establishing this interface with the ministry, and inviting, of course, I have been fortunate to address the young minds, and then also to the industry, not only in terms of the academic institutions connecting with them, but this also the how we will closely monitor in terms of establishing further linkages, whether it is R&D or employment related matters, etc. So from my heartful thanks to the management and the entire faculty and the deans and the heads of the institutions for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words and sharing your thoughts with our students for their growth and development, which helps them in uplifting their career. Now, let us have a small questionnaire session. Any questions from the audience, students? Any queries from the students?
I think they got the picture clearly.
So thank you, sir, for giving us such a brief introduction about the Industrial Academy interface, where even our students don't have any sort of questionnaires from their end because they have understood the session in such a depth. So now I request our coordinator, Dr. P. Sridhar, sir, and the deans to please step forward for felicitation to our chief guest. Coming to the end of the session, the vote of thanks, I would like to express my gratitude to our guest who have taken time out of his busy schedule to grace this occasion with his presence. Your presence had added an extra spark to this event and made it even more special, sir. Thank you.
Well, ma'am, I would like to just say that I think I understand you have your midterm examinations from tomorrow. Despite of that, they have stolen away your of whatever an hour or so, and wish you every best in your midterm examinations, I guess.
I would also like to thank our principal, sir, because of whom the seminar was possible. I would also like to thank Dr. P. Sridhar, sir, the coordinator of the event, and the Dean IQAC for encouraging to conduct this event. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind.
ये मत एग्जैक्ट फीडबैक सर ठीक First of all, I thank the audience, students and faculty and deans. This section is very informative and Chief Guest has narrated how the Indian vision is helping us, the students, in acquiring their professional growth. He has narrated various sections of the Indian economy, how it is growing, what are the role as the students we are going to play in that and get benefited by that. Thank you very much.
Myself, Dr. Srinivasulu, Professor of CSC and Dean. The today's session is really helpful to the students. That is a need of the hour, where the industry institute interaction need to be improved for the better future of the India. The initiations of the Minister of Government AICT 2024 vision is really makes India is a developed country. So definitely this young generation engineers is going to be benefited with this vision. Hopefully these engineers are going to get benefited with this 2047 vision, and the industry institute interface also is going to be helpful to strengthen their skills. Thank you very much.
What is it?